All right, here we go. Knock, knock.
Hi, thanks again for having me over. I'm excited about getting your home on the market and getting it sold.
Do you mind if I take a quick look at your
home? I wrote down 3 very important questions for you. Number 1, do you absolutely have to sell this home? Yes? Fantastic. Number 2, will you price your home to sell? Or do you want to keep it on the market for a long period of time? Price to sell? Great. And number 3, do you want me to handle the sale for you? Yes? Excellent. All we need now is simply sign the contract so I can help you get what you want in the time you want. Won't that be great?
Yes, it will.
Sign the contract. George, at the end of my presentation tonight, 1 of 3 things will happen. Number 1, you'll have the opportunity to list your home with me. Or, number 2, you'll decide not to list your home with me. Or, number 3, I'll decide not to take your listing. Any one is fine. Let's quickly take a moment to review the questions I asked you over the phone. You said you're moving to LA, right? You said you're moving because of job transfer. You said you had to be there for 90 days, right? And you'd like to price your home at $300,000, right? And you said you owe $100,000. Is that right? Now, you weren't planning on selling yourself, were you? Terrific. Are you interested in self-financing, or do you want your money out? Wonderful. Now, there are only 2 issues to look at tonight. Number 1, your motivation to sell this home, and number 2, the price we set on your home. I prepared what we call a comparative market analysis. There are 2 parts to this research. Part 1, we call Fantasyland. It's what homeowners list homes for. Part 2, we call reality. It's what real estate agents list and sell homes for. We're going to have to decide tonight where you're going to spend your time. The purpose of the comparative market analysis is to determine the value of your home in the eyes of the buyer. Do you know how buyers determine value? Buyers determine value by comparison shopping. They look at the price of your home based on its features and benefits and compare it with the features and benefits of similar homes that have sold recently or are currently on the market. Does that make sense? Good. For example, if you're purchasing a car and one dealership had a car for $20,000 and another dealership had the same car for $20,000, but it had a CD player and fancy rims, which car would be more valuable? Why? What if the first dealership put the car with no CD player and rims on sale for $15,000? Which would be a better value then? Why? So, you can see that if you want to increase value, lower the price, or have more features and benefits for the same price. Does that make sense? Good. So, unless you're planning to have more features and benefits in your home, are you? No. Price is the only issue. May I show you what I mean? This home is just like yours. How many bedrooms? How many baths? How many square feet? Do you know this neighborhood? Have you seen this house? Your house is better. This house is a little better than yours. This house is very similar to yours. What price are they asking? Look how long it's been on the market. You need to be in LA in 90 days, right? What price do you feel we should use to create value in the eyes of the buyer and get someone to decide to buy your home versus competition? Now that you've seen these prices, I'm going to recommend a price of $275,000. Will you, George, list your home with me for that price tonight? All we need now is simply sign the contract so I can help you get what you want in the time you want. Won't that be great?
Yes, it will.
Sign the contract.
Great, we'll stop there. All right, so yesterday we talked a little bit about just the dynamics of our own personal mindset, right? When we're at the actual presentation, not taking responsibility for the market, being willing to accept a little bit of rejection, and being able to make sure that you're committed to telling the truth. And you know, those are near and dear to me. They may not be to you, but that's an important thing for me, that I have to hierarchy my commitment levels to what I'm willing to do. And so my commitment to truth is going to trump whether or not they like me or not. And the problem that we get into in this business is that if we get committed to people having to like us, which is a tough thing because we're people in this business who are trying to get people to like us. But if we are more committed to the people liking us than we are telling the truth, we're rarely going to be able to speak with authority and confidence and conviction that's necessary to lead people. So with that, we'll tap into some of the outline portion, but I just want to remind you of a couple of things. You know, years ago, I used to say that I thought the #1 building block of every of every prospecting call, of every single thing that we might do in sales, was our ability to ask questions. And I dare say that there's no question that is a critical element to the success of a presentation. It is our ability to ask questions. But there's one that's just maybe a little bit above that, and that is this. I have found that when people are prospecting, or when they're presenting, or when they're going and getting a price reduction, if this is wrong, if they have the wrong, who knows what I'm going to say? Right? They're the wrong intentions. My objective today is, by the way, to try to spell correctly on the board. It did not help with my little 4.0 daughter. My wife came home and told her all about it. She was laughing at me. So, intention, right? So our intention. So I just would challenge you as to why are you there? Now look, do I know that you'd probably rather, I'd probably rather be on a golf course? Yes. But if I don't take a step back and just evaluate a little bit of why I'm there, I have to remember that the most important job I have is to do number one. I know no one's going to disagree with what I'm going to say here. And I'm just ripping through this because of time. But number one thing, bless you, is that knowing this is critical, because it's what allows you to step into any of these environments and go, okay, I've got the right intention. And it's simply this: get others what they want. That's it. If you help others get what they want, game over. You got the deals. You know, when Mark Eaton came and spoke last year, I think it was actually a year ago this month. He came and spoke a year ago. Or was that 2 years ago?
2 years.
Thank you. 2 years ago. Holy cow. 2 years ago, he came and spoke. And he said this was kind of his opening deal. How do you become invaluable? I mean, I think this is just a powerful statement. I mean, I have to tell you, I've stolen it. Now I don't give him credit for it anymore. But I mean, I've stolen it because I love the thing. How do you become invaluable to the marketplace or to another human being? Does anybody remember his answer? It's somewhat like this. It's a little different. His answer was this: help another individual get to the next level in their life. That's it. Now, think about this. If there's anybody in your life that you have appreciation for and you have this respect for, this love, this affinity for, it is because they help you get to the next level. Well, think about this process in the game of selling. Get others what they want. Get people to the next level that they desire. And then all of a sudden, commissions become a non-issue. They just simply do. And all of a sudden, you start moving through this process and realizing as you help people get what they want, then you can speak so freely because everything's tied. Now, when I talk to a broker, if I'm talking to Rod and I say, Rod, tell me how to confront one of these agents. Do you know what my first thing I'm going to tell Rod he has to know? Because it's impossible to confront you, Josh, or Dean, or Dave, or any of you effectively. Like people will go walking in and go, I'm going to confront them and give them a little piece of my mind. It's never going to work. The only way that you successfully list homes, make appointments, get buyers, confront an agent is if you know what?
Get what they want.
But yeah, so get them what they want. So now the questions come back to what?
Ask questions.
Right. No. Well, and the questions will lead you to getting to know what they want. Right. So it's critical. So the only way you can have an effective presentation is to know what they want. I am fascinated still today that I hear about people going on 2-hour presentations, 3-hour presentations, and I'm sitting there going, there's no way that there are enough questions being asked. Miriam, are you laughing at me? Just kidding.
I just adjusted.
Right? And I'm telling you, here's the deal, because here's what's interesting. I know Justin obviously well enough. Miriam, does he want people to get what they want? Does he have, is that fair? And here's the deal. If we don't take a step back and even ask more and more questions, we may not really know what they want. We may be guessing. We may be assuming, thinking that everybody wants the same thing. And it's fascinating how many times when people are like, "Oh, I don't want that." I remember years ago I was with a stockbroker, and I was sitting there, and he was doing my IRA or something like that, and I said, "No, I'm fine." His name was Matt. I said, "Matt, I'm fine. You don't need to explain any of it." And so what did he continue to do? Explain it to me. And I said, "Matt," and he said, "You need to hear this. Legally, I have to tell you." I'm like, "Okay, all right, Matt. I'll tell you what. I'm going to be returning my emails while you talk." And I knew him well enough. And so he just kept talking, Dave. And I just returned emails. And I went, "Okay, okay." And I know, well, Mike, if you feel like legally you need to explain this to me, then so be it. Explain it. But I don't care, because that's not what I want. I don't care about that. I don't want to know the answers. The difference between A shares, B shares, C shares. I don't care. Just tell me what I'm supposed to do. I trust you. So just be very careful as you move through this process that you look back and say, okay, what are my intentions? What am I really there to do? Help people get what they want, or in certain words, like Mark Eaton said, get them to the next level. And if you start with that being the establishment of what you're trying to do, whether it's Dave, you're recruiting an agent, whether it's Josh going out and working with a buyer, or Jeff, you going out on a listing presentation, or Dean trying to get a price reduction, it all has to do with the fact of making sure you are clear in your mind going, wait a second, this isn't about me, this is about getting them what they want. And that's why I can confront anyone in the company and out of the company, because my first questions aren't attack you. If you're an agent and you want to come into the company, I'm going to attack what you want, and then I'm going to ask you the question, so how are you going to get that? And who has the best chance of helping you get it? But if you never figure out what people want, and you assume that it's something totally different, well, then you're never going to get what you need, which is a sale, because you don't ever get people what they want. Seems kind of like a boring subject, doesn't it, Mike? But it's the most important principle, I think, of selling, is that people forget their intentions, and they'll say, "Oh yeah. I know, I get it. I'm going to get them what they want." Do you really ask the question? Remember my opening question of my opening question essentially for the presentation is, ultimately, what are you trying to accomplish? Ultimately, what do you want to have happen? Ultimately, what are you trying to do? I want to know. I want to hear it live in front of them when I'm at that presentation. And I've only talked to Josh. I want to talk to Kurt. I want to say, Kurt, hey, I didn't talk to you. What do you want? I want to know. And then I'm going to get into the habit of, well, tell me more about that. Is there anything else? Share with me a little more about that. And we'll get into this process of asking questions. But if you do, what you'll find is you'll get to know what they want. See, you might think that everyone wants more money. Well, yeah, but what do they want? But what's more important is, why do they want the money? What's important about the money? What's important about netting 30 grand on your home? What does it mean to you? What happens if you don't get it? What happens if you do get it? Make sure you know, because if you don't, this is going to be very, very challenging for you. It'll never, almost ever work consistently, because you aren't focused on the right intentions. Okay. So we talked about the intro yesterday. So number one, we talked about just thanking them. Number two, some type of an acknowledgement. Number three, we talked about some type of a promise and a commitment. Oops, 1, 2. And number four, which I didn't list, but if you can get away with it, and that is a little bit of humor. You know, just a little bit of humor, if it makes sense. But be careful, okay? You know? Sometimes it might be as simple as, hey, you know what? Am I the 1,000th caller? You know, because, you know, you've had so many people calling you. Or, boy, you know what? I'm surprised you haven't had helicopters swarming over your home, dropping off listing packages, telling people how great they are, how awesome they are. How's that been? Right? I mean, whatever it may be. You know, if you're going to use humor, you know, make fun of yourself maybe just a little bit. Try not to make fun of them. That's not usually very humorous. It might be to you, but not you to them. Okay? But just in your intro, so just as we're doing this, it's going to be, hey, Josh, hey, thank you for allowing me to come out. Want to acknowledge you for your house, awesomeness, great this, or hey, just acknowledging you for the time. Hey, I promise you this is going to be a wonderful experience for you. I know you've met with tons of people at this point, but I want you to know how committed I am. I am committed to making sure you get what you want. So with that, let me ask you, what do you want? What do you want to have happen? Ultimately, what are you trying to accomplish? Okay? So I'm going to give you that right there. And then, look, when I got my closing ratios very high and very efficient inside the game of listing homes, what occurred for me was I got this down, but I got the questions down. So I may have gotten a little ahead of myself, but not really, because as I told you, I will often do both. So let's just put the game plan here, and then over here we're going to put questions. All right. So I'm okay with asking a few questions and then coming back and sharing with them the game plan. I talked about this, I believe, yesterday or maybe last week. I can't remember what it was, but I just said, look, if someone gets in your car, or you go, so your friend pulls up at the front door here, and they say, get in, the very first thing you're going to ask them is what? Where are we going? Okay? Look, go to any Buffini presentation, go to any Mike Ferry presentation, go to any Tom Ferry presentation. When they open their presentation, what do? Well, let me share with you what we're going to do. 4 things, and it's always this, something like, we're going to smile, and always the last one is, we're going to smile and have lots of fun. I always remember that. I always think that's actually kind of an interesting thing. But they'll like lists, like, we're going to do this, 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 or how many of you look at the schedule and say, okay, how long does this go for? I just would challenge you to be very clear on where are you going in the presentation. You would never, you guys are all so driven and ambitious that you would never go into an environment where you didn't know the outcome. Don't you hate it when you went to Lord of the Rings and you didn't realize it was going to be an all-day event after 4 hours of watching Frodo and everything else, doing what they do? I was so irritated that movie was 3.5 hours long, because most movies are what? 2. And all of a sudden, most presentations should be an hour, and someone shows up and gives a 2-3 hour presentation. What are you doing? Because that's not the norm, because that's not what's expected. So remember, no one likes surprises unless it's like for your birthday or that you've controlled the surprise. You only want to be surprised on things you control. So don't allow people to be surprised. Make sure that they're very clear on the game plan, right? So the game plan is this. Just if you're doing this, great. If not, I hope something that I share with you resonates, like, wait, this is part of my refinement process. Number 1 is first, I want to know more about your needs. So what do you need? What do you want? But more importantly, what's the third? Yes, what do I expect? Or what do they expect? Oh, man. Okay, what do you need? But what would you really want? What do you expect? It's pretty simple. So tell me, what do you really need to get out of this home? What would you like to get out of it? What are you really expecting to get out of it? Pretty simple. What do you need? What do you want? What do you expect? So if I'm going through this, I might go, hey, thank you. I want to acknowledge you. I promise you. Hey, I'm committed. Hey, this is my joke, blah, blah. Hey, so let me share with you a little bit of a game plan. Let me give you a little blueprint of what I think is going to happen over the next 30 to 45 minutes. And if it only goes longer, it's only because you have more questions. That's it. Just because you have more questions. Not because I'm going to come and throw up on you and hope that you like it. That's what I mean, right? Okay, so number 2 is what? I know the answer. Okay?
Marketing.
I was going to say, so, all right, our marketing and the way in which I always sometimes put up here, sometimes I'm writing this on the back of a page, by the way, I'm on a presentation. I say, hey, look, I got to know more what you need, what you want, what you expect, because if we're going to have a great relationship, Bob and Mary, I got to know that. And look, and after I do that, I want to share with you about how we market and expose a property, how it is that Century 21 is synonymous with real estate. How its awareness is a 97% brand awareness, and people love name brands, and there's a reason why people are more comfortable calling on our signs than anyone else's in the marketplace. I want to share with you why. And number 3, that's a whole other thing we'll get into, like sound bites, right? Number 3 is what? Market conditions. Okay? And let's list 3 things just so you have them. What are the 3 things I'm going to talk about? Or let's just name one of
Market
the 3.
conditions, pricing strategy,
What?
CMA.
Say again?
Market conditions, pricing strategy, and CMA.
Okay, so when I'm looking at market conditions, what I'm going to talk about, right, is I'm going to talk about stats, right? So I want to talk about the stat. I might have a stat, a spreadsheet, and whatnot, right? I'm going to talk about the pricing strategy. So how I usually set it up is something like this. I've said it sometimes a little bit different, but I'm just thinking how I've normally done it. How I normally do it is market, let's talk about the market itself, the market conditions and what's going on. So, hey, look, market conditions and stats, let's talk about that, and maybe it's better just to, instead of conditions up here, we're going to talk about the market. So we're going to talk about the conditions of the market, nationally, locally, and into your neighborhood. I have a few stats, a few numbers I want to share with you. Second, I'm going to share with you a little bit about how we price a home and how the strategy of pricing works every time. And if we're committed to our pricing strategy, we have a great chance of getting this home sold in a very effective, efficient, and profitable manner. Number three is what you just said, is we're going to talk about the price, or we'll put up here the CMA. As a general statement, that's what I did every time. Let me share with you about the market. I might just give a national stat. Then I come down to a Utah stat. And then I come and go into their neighborhood. And then I show a few stats in their zip code, their neighborhood, and say this and that, and let them know price per square footage on average in their neighborhood or across the state, across the Wasatch Front. And then I'd say, great, any other questions? No, let's talk about our pricing strategy. Here it is. What is the pricing strategy? Who knows our pricing strategy? Who is confident enough to say it? Dave. I have no prize for you except glory. So go ahead, tell us.
In 3 weeks, if it hasn't sold and we have no offers and no showings, we reduce it by 10%. 3 more weeks, if we have no offers and if we have showings but no offers, we reduce it by 9 to 7%.
Okay, yeah. So 7 to 10%, no offers, no showings. 5 to 7% if we have showings but still no offer. Pretty general statement, but you should know it. Because if you don't know how to price a property, and we'll get more into detail as time goes on that, but real important, okay? Did somebody raise their hand? No? Okay, and then number 4 is what?
Paperwork.
Yeah, so basically we're going to close. We're going to ask you to sign a contract. So it goes something like this. So I've gone through hey, I want to thank you for letting me be here. I want to acknowledge you for everything that you've been willing to put up with all these agents coming through and people calling you and knocking on your doors, dropping off packages, mailing you things. I can only imagine how frustrating that is. Hey, I want you to know, I am so committed, and I promise you I'm going to do everything I can within my power to get your home sold and do what we can to help you. With that, I've got a little bit of a game plan, and I think it would be appropriate that we follow that so that you know what we're going to do with the time we spend together. Because I want this time to be highly effective and highly efficient, because the last thing you need to do is be sitting with an agent, regurgitating, hearing things you've already heard before, or worse yet, you're not even interested in. Fair enough? Great. Here's my game plan. Number 1, I want to share with you my need. I want to understand more of your needs, your wants, and what you really do expect. Second, I want you to know how we're going to market and how we're going to expose the property. Third, we're going to talk about the market. We'll talk about the conditions within the market. So I've got a few stats for you. I've got a few spreadsheets for you that'll be kind of fun for you to, either you'll want to look at them in great detail today, or at least you'll have something to say, okay, what really is the market doing? We're going to look at it at a high level, a small level from the state, and we're going to go down and look at it from the standpoint of just your neighborhood or your zip code. And after we do that, we're going to talk about the way in which we price a home, the strategy that we use, how we go about the process. Now, my hope is the moment we put the home on the market, it sells. But if not, we've got to have a strategy, because we're going to work from a strategy. Because if we don't have a strategy, boy, we're going to have a real problem. And third is, after we do that, I'm going to talk to you about the price. And we're going to talk about defining a price. But at that point, I have to believe that we're working together and that we're just concluding upon a price based on that. And last but not least, if you feel comfortable with all of those things, I'm going to ask you to sign a contract. Does that sound fair enough? That's what I always say. Is that fair enough? And they always say, yeah, that sounds fair. Great. So let me ask you, and here we go to this. Again, questions, but my number 1 is, ultimately, what are you trying to accomplish? That's my first question. Now here's my charge to you, and that is you should have 20 questions in this list there. And here's the easy thing. The questions deal with these 3 things, or 4 things. Number 1, it's going to deal with the condition of the home. Number 2, it's going to deal with their ability to sell the house. So I promise you is where all the questions will relate to. Number 3, it's going to deal with their motivation to sell the home. And number 4 is the questions will all be derived around the price of the home. If you notice, just a good little acronym. Acronym, yeah?
Spell it.
Acronym.
Thank you. That.
Spell that.
Yeah, no. But my questions are going to deal with those things. They always are. Share with me what's your greatest challenge in getting this home sold. Share with me what's most important to you. And actually, sometimes, let me put a 5th up here, because it's one that gets them to talk easy and open the dialogue. And that is that the marketing. So hey, share with me what would you expect me to do to market home. What would you share? What would you want me to do to talk to me a little bit about how you concluded upon your price. Share with me more about that. And we'll get more into detail tomorrow, or the next area, I guess Thursday. We'll focus on just how to ask questions. Because very few people figure that out. Very few people figure out how to even ask a question. And even if they figure out the way to ask the first question, they never get really deep into the other questions. Remember, there's the yes or no questions, there's the open-ended questions, but I'm more interested in the third, which is the emotional questions. Where are you moving to? I'm moving to Phoenix. Great. Share with me what's taking you there. Open-ended question. Job transfer. And then most people say, okay, great. So tell me, how soon do you want to be there? No. We got to get deeper than that. So new job, that's great. Is there anything else that's taking you? Oh, my mother's down there. Oh, your mother's there. Well, yeah, that's where we grew up. Really? So new job, mother's down there. Tell me more about that, or is there anything else? I've got to get in the habit of the way in which I ask questions so that I'm doing the very least amount of the talking. Okay? So remember, again, let's just go through this. My intentions, I've got to know what they want. So part of those questions is that if you don't know what they want, you've got a really tough journey ahead of you. So really, truly figure out what they want. Second, have some type of intro. Third, a game plan. Fourth, these questions. Now, on the question portion, this is all I'm going to challenge you with. People say, well, wait, what question should I use? What I would challenge you with is the reason people say, well, why do you practice that Mike Ferry script and what? Because those are questions. That's what the presentation's about. So my challenge to you is that use all those questions if you want. What is the opening line, essentially, of the script? I have what? 3 real important questions for you. Hey, if you want those to be your 3 most important, then do it. I have found over the years, for me, it is better that I say, Dave, tell me, ultimately, what are you trying to accomplish? I found that to be better. Doesn't mean it has to be that way. And I can still, after I do all that, I come in and say, great, so it sounds like to me you've ultimately decided to sell your home. Number 2, you're willing to price sell. Number 3, would you like me to handle sell for you? And I can do that. That's fine. But I'm going to make sure I'm asking questions that get this dialogue that's necessary. And I can tell you this much. If you walk in going, I have 3 real important questions for you, and it's Jeff and Rebecca. Your wife just walked in. She's making sure you were here.
You're kidding me. Oh.
Okay? But I'm sitting there with Jeff and Rebecca and husband and wife, and I've only made the appointment with Jeff, and I walk right in, and Rebecca's never met me, and I walk in, and I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, in all seriousness, I've never met Rebecca, and I walk in and go, Jeff, Rebecca, pleasure to meet you. Excited about getting home on the market, getting sold. We sit down. Great. I got 3 real important questions for you. Number 1, if you absolutely decide to sell, do you want price to sell, and you want me to handle sell for you? What do you think Rebecca's going to do in that scenario? Like 9 out of 10 times.
She's going to walk off on you.
Who the freak are you?
That's Rebecca.
Who are you? So I have found over the years it's better to go, Jeff, you and I have had wonderful conversations on the phone, and I know you've had tons of agents calling you. And I know, Rebecca, he just made this appointment. That's got to be a little frustrating, but you know what? We're just guys. We don't know what we're doing. And in so many words, I got to ask you, I have to use a little humor. I got to ask you, ultimately, what do you, I mean, I've heard what Jeff wants. What do you want? I just know from experience that goes a lot better than going, I got 3 real important questions for you, and I've never seen you, Rebecca, in my life, except right now, and now I want to know whether you want me to list your home. Make sense? Okay, we got a bolt. I know some of you are going to stay back and do some role play. We're going to tomorrow on Thursday morning. So tomorrow's the book club. Read the book. All right, get the book. Starting after this next book, we're going to start buying the books like we used to. I didn't realize we weren't, and just so we can hand them out, and everybody has them in their hand. We'll buy 20 or 30 of them at a time, so we get a nice group of people who have them. But just get this book, download this book, whatever it needs to be. Reading the Practicing Mind. I don't even remember the author, but Practicing Mind is what it is.
So you're not getting
I was
those
gonna
yet?
ask, what was the title?
Practicing Mind. Practicing Mind.
So you're not getting those yet?
Not this time. It's a short book. We'll be done with it in 2 weeks, but the next book we're going to buy 20 or 30 of them like we have in the past. Okay? And then remember, training tomorrow at 11:30. Okay? Any thoughts? Questions? Remember, this is an art. This is fun, but what makes it fun is, again, knowing what people want. Have an extraordinary day. Structure, 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 structure.
There you go, trying to trick me, Mike. No. Those practicing, please come up.
I know she knows about it. But it most likely but if not, it might be Friday. Friday at the earliest.
Oh.
Okay? What are we waiting for? No. Yeah,
I got a question with Ray.
hey Dave, get with
I need to get this organized.
Nice.
I need to get this set.
Just short.
Would you be more passive? This is really
Gotcha.
Perfect. It's, oh, perfect. Yeah, it's a process, especially guys like that. In a hurry. No,
That's right. In fact, actually, if you just want to plan on noon on Friday.
Perfect.
Okay?
yeah, it's a process.
Noon on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. You already
Nice.
instead of getting
Well,
7:30.
Yeah, no, yeah, no question.
Because that would have been
Right?
That would have blown it.
Hey, close the doors, will you guys back there, and then come up to the front. Because Clinton gets really noisy. Right? Clinton gets a little wild and woolly.
He
Okay.
doesn't want people to see him fall off the chair.
Yeah, right. He knocked me off my chair one day. Not by any form of touch. It was by his passion.
You started laughing.
Well, I seen him, let's talk about that for a second, because I'll tell you what, and I think you would agree, David, that he hit a passion part of him. And getting into your passion is extremely important, because above all, passion for what you do brings out great things. So with that passion, I was excited, and it seriously knocked me off my chair, and I just leaned back and went, oh my God, he's hit another level, and then boom, down I went. So it's really good. Okay, today, what do we want to work on? What are you struggling with? What are the objections you're having? Or would somebody like to come up and do their presentation? Who feels comfortable? A little scary, huh? So what are some objections that you're dealing with? Tough? All of them? Okay. Well, and you know what? Here's the fascinating thing. You're doing great things with it, and you're making progress. I'll tell you this. David is, let's really talk about a couple things, and then we're going to get into some real role playing. David, when he first showed up here, was a lot like what I was when I got into real estate. Very frustrated, coming into a different platform of what he was used to.
I was a professional mechanic for years, an expert. Degrees from 3 different colleges in automotive design and development. For me to come into real estate, really? It's a total different approach. Who would ever believe I was shy? Extremely shy. I'd rather take a bullet than get in front of people and talk. I've done a Nashville album, and when I do my first time performing in front of about 3,000 people, I threw up twice before I went out on stage. The beauty is when the lights are on you, you can't see anybody. So I started just envisioning, nobody's there. Do your thing. And it's amazing the great things that happen. So you can actually, once you get in touch with your passion, nothing else really matters. I love what he's talking about. This is massive in anything you do in life. Your intention will 100% of the time shine through. You guys feel it, you see it, you know what it's about. So you have to deal with it. So let's do this. How would you guys like to do and see a rapid fire role play on FISBOs? Who's up for that? Okay, so who wants to challenge me and see who can get the quickest appointment in? 3 appointments at the quickest time. Who's up for a challenge? Come on, somebody's got to be up for the challenge. This is your chance to step in the ring and knock somebody out. I'll pick if you guys don't. Okay, Clint. Because I think that you're probably one of the most talented in here and capable. You're going to go against me. How's that? Fair enough? So, first or second?
Go ahead.
Okay. I want somebody experienced. Dean, would you mind coming up here? Sit up here. Because I have 3 distinctively different personalities. What I want you guys to start thinking about right here in this role play, what are they? Meaning, what personality traits are they when we start doing this? You'll notice it happens differently for me each time. Okay, it might sound the same. Believe me, what's going on inside is going to be different based on who they are. Why is that important? The reality is, if you're not somewhat mirroring what they are, you're not going to be building massive or rapid rapport. Here's what I want you to understand in this. What are you trying to do in this scenario?
Get an appointment.
Appointment. Do not do the presentation on the phone. This is designed to get as many appointments as you can. I don't care what the home looks like. I seriously don't. I don't care how many bedrooms. I may ask if I feel like I'm losing control, or if I totally go, and even after doing this for 28 years, I go blank. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. You don't know them. This is like lifting weights, okay? When you don't get what you want, somebody finish it for me. Experience is what you get. I'm constantly relearning this because of all of this. This is powerful and simple once you get it down. Okay? Yes.
Quick question last night. So we were doing calls last night. We're talking about FISBOs and
Perfect.
some of that. What is your thought process? What is your feeling on telling them, you know, I may have an interest. I want to come preview the home. That's getting your foot in the door, but
Sure.
especially for someone like me who's new, I don't have a buyer on my back end other than the relocation stuff. What is your thought process on that? Is that okay?
It's been sure, it's okay. It's not really effective.
And they'll ask that we were talking because they'll directly say, so you have a buyer.
Correct.
In
And
mind.
you're like, I
Yeah.
say no,
Because
I
we
don't
weren't
right
sure
now,
how to
but I
handle it.
could soon.
Sure.
And to be integrity and honest on it, but you're also trying to get in the door.
Sure. Look, there's so many different ways you can go with that. There's 100 million different ways you can go with it and become effective. And it doesn't always work. Because what works on somebody won't work on somebody else. An analytical from an expressive to an amiable, all different, all different. So you, by the way they're answering the phone maybe gives the first clue away.
Mhm.
So it can give me an answer for an expressive. Hello. How about an amiable? Hi. Or this is. May I help you? Analytical. Hello. Driver. Hello. So right from the word hello but see that may be masked by what? If they've got called 50 times.
Irritation.
Right. David, you have a question? Or a
Yeah,
comment?
I guess, Dave Baird said that you can always tell them that we have people within the brokerage who will buy homes.
Absolutely.
Correctly.
And that's right, because if there's homes out there and they're priced property, I'll buy it. Okay? If you want to drop 30-40% below market value, I'm in. Okay? You know, ERA used to say, if we can't sell your home, we'll buy it. You ever seen that? Okay, the reason they do that, of course they will, because it's the same theory. We'll appraise it and we'll offer you X amount below market share.
But I would sort of follow up that statement by saying, but I'm not going to take your home to anybody until I've had a chance to see it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair statement. Look, I like to keep abreast of the competition in the field. That's a reality, okay? So remember, the intent in this exercise is get you good and fast on the phone. You're trying to get the appointment. That's what this is about, and knowing what to say. And look, if you're not up here trying it, you're missing out in a huge way. Can you become a better boxer or fighter without ever stepping into the ring and constantly watching? No. You have to get up and fight. I don't care how badly you break up here. Try it. Because look, you're not going to be the best right out of the chute. Neither am I. And I'm an expert.
So what do they answer when they say, do you have a buyer, other than, well, somebody from our brokerage
You're going to see it.
take a look?
Because he's probably going to ask it. So, and what even, I can't tell you what's going to come out because I don't know how I'm going to be feeling or how he's feeling, and I'm trying to check it. So what I want you guys to do, imagine yourself up here, how you're feeling, what you're trying to do. What is it, the best question that George said you could ask?
Ultimately, what do you want out of this?
Emotional questions, right? So, but look, humor. Does that invoke emotion? Yes. And rapport and everything else. So if you understand that structure, you're going to be able to play this role better. But make no mistake, you need to be up here trying it. And I'll sit right here and coach you through it. And I'll probably stop you a million times. Great. Clint's gotten very good at that because you rocked his world. Okay? And he's like, he come back fighting. And did that not make a difference? Absolutely. So who's going to time? Who can time this? Okay. We're going 3 appointments. What I love about this is it becomes a game. It becomes a competition. That motivates me. I don't know about you. If it doesn't, oh well. This is to make you better, okay? Ring, ring. Oh, I am calling about your property after selling the paper.
Yeah.
Well, look, this is Rick Bentley, Century 21. How are you today?
Good. How can I help you?
Well, look, if I can get you what the market will bear plus what we need to market the property, therefore you have nothing to lose and everything to gain, is that something that would interest you?
I don't believe that you can do that any better than I can.
Well, that's the very reason you and I need to get together tonight at 5 o'clock and show you what our techniques are to get that done. Fair enough?
No, I'm good. I'm just
You're
looking
good.
to do it myself.
Okay, how long have you had it on the market?
A month,
Okay, so help me understand, your name is, sir?
Andy.
Andy, help me understand, if I can get you what the market would bear plus what we need to market the property, therefore you absolutely have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Help me understand why you wouldn't want that.
Because I can do it myself.
But if
I don't need to pay your commission.
Well, you won't be, because if I can get you what the market will bear plus what we need to market the property, therefore you're not losing anything and gaining everything. Those are the very reasons we need to get together. Say 5 o'clock. You have nothing to lose, Andy, by giving me a few minutes to show you what I can do. Fair enough?
I think I'm okay.
Well,
really
I understand, and if I were you, I would feel the same way. But if I can combine, show you a few techniques that we'd use to get your property sold, help me understand why you wouldn't want that.
What I really need from you
Yes, sir.
is to bring me a buyer.
Well, if I can see your property, we might be able to create that. Fair enough?
Do you have somebody in mind already? Do
We-
you have somebody available to buy my house now?
You know what, Andy? We have a ton of buyers coming in through the relocation system. And you know, one of the things you may not realize is that you're cutting out 100% of the relocation buyers who could possibly be seeing your home, maybe possibly multiple offers. Isn't that something you would want to try to understand?
Yeah,
Okay, so 5 o'clock work for you?
that'll work.
Perfect. See you at 5. Ring, ring.
Yeah, hello,
Hi, this is Rick Bentley with Century 21. Who am I speaking to?
David Johnson.
David, how are you, sir?
I'm fine.
Awesome. Well, look, real quick, if I can get you what the market will bear plus what we need to market the property, therefore you have nothing to lose and everything to gain, is that something that would interest you?
Yeah, that just sounds like a realtor's script to me.
Well, you know, that's the very reason you and I need to get together and discuss what we do to get properties sold. I've been doing this an extremely long time. I got a 100% list to sell ratio. If you do what I ask you to do, there's no question I can get your property sold. Fair enough?
Yeah, but I'm not convinced that you can do any better at this than me.
No, and if I were you, I would feel the same way. But that's the very reason you and I need to get together and talk about what we do to get homes sold. Fair enough?
No, look, I just don't think you guys can justify the commissions you charge. It's
Well,
just money out of my pocket.
David, that's the very reason you and I need to get together and discuss what we do to make that happen. And if I can get you what the market will bear plus what we need to market the property, therefore you have nothing to lose and everything to gain, help me understand why you wouldn't use that.
Yeah, you keep saying that, but
Yeah.
what I really want from you is to bring me a buyer.
Well, fair enough. We might be able to do that after I show you what our techniques are to bring a buyer. How can
Okay,
we
so you just
understand?
want to get your foot in the door so you can bend my ear.
Well, I'd
over
like to
this
get
crap.
both feet in the door, not just one. Fair enough?
Yeah, when you're persistent, I'll give you that much.
Wouldn't you want that type of agent to be helping you, correct?
Yeah, fine, whatever.
Perfect. See you at 4, David. Thanks. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Wow, how are you today? You feel like, sounds like you had a couple cups of coffee.
Well, I'm busy.
You're busy? Look, you got a few minutes? This is Rick Bentley with Century 21.
Hi, Rick. I've got about 1 minute, then I gotta go.
That's all it'll take. Look, if I can get you what the market will bear plus what we need to market the property, therefore you have nothing to lose and absolutely everything to gain, is that something that you would be interested in?
Well, that sounds like a sales technique to me.
Well, they're all sales techniques. That's because I'm in the market for selling things. So, but that's the very reason you and I need to get together and talk about what we do. Fair enough?
Well, you know, you guys all say the same thing.
I know, you kick a bush, a realtor comes out, huh?
That's right.
You know, look, Dean, real quick again, if I can show you what we do to market properties, get the home sold, and get what we need to market the property, therefore you have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain, why wouldn't you want to see that?
Well, maybe I will, but I want to give it a month or so of my own.
Well, that's perfect. So say 5 o'clock tonight work for you.
Not tonight.
So tomorrow? Would tomorrow work for you?
Well, late in the evening, maybe.
Perfect. 6 o'clock?
That'll work.
Awesome. See you then. Time.
I have 15.
That was very uncomfortable for me. I don't know if you could tell. I was not in my A game. I didn't use the ugly baby bomb one time because I was about to. Because I wanted to throw a brick through your window.
Yeah, it was deliberately.
No, I like what you did. I picked you today
That's how-
because of that. But look, what I didn't do is give up, right? I love the fact you say, well, you're really persistent. Wouldn't you want that? So the reality is even as much as I have done this, I'm uncomfortable with it at times. It's just uncomfortable for me, not because I'm in front of you. My mind wasn't in the game. My mind's wandering other things that I have to accomplish today. That's going to happen to you, especially brand new, because you're trying to think of all these things you got to do and learn to be good at this. But make no mistake, this is where the rubber hits the road. If you're up here and you're doing this, and even if you flub it up, that you're going to get better and better and better and better. Pretty soon, it's going to be like a walk in the park. I have no problem getting on the phone with anybody. Nobody is going to stop me from making that call. I don't care what their objection is. I've been faced with it hundreds, thousands of times, and I'm still uncomfortable with it. Isn't that crazy? It's human nature. So how much was my time?
5:15.
5:15, 3 appointments. Average commission of what, $6,000? Think about the money. In 5 minutes, 15 seconds? Okay,
We going back?
same thing.
Ring ring.
Hello.
Hi, this is Clint with Century 21. Am I speaking to the owner of the home for sale?
Yeah. How can I help you? You're about the 10th guy this morning.
Oh, I can totally understand that. We're all out there trying to, make a living. Can I ask you your name?
It's Andy.
Andy. So, if I could get you the maximum that the market would bear for your price, and also cover my costs to sell the home for you, would that be something that interests you?
Yeah, but I don't know that you guys are the ones that can do it. I don't know why I can't just do that myself.
Okay.
I can start high and come down.
So you can start high and come down. May I ask you a question? Have you had a lot of interest in your home so far?
Yeah.
How many people have walked through?
I've had 3 or 4 come through, and it's only been on the market for a few weeks.
Okay, and have any of them made an offer on the home?
One, but it wasn't enough.
And it wasn't enough. Okay, and did any of the others give you feedback on the property?
No.
No? If you wouldn't mind, I mean, you don't know me, I don't know you, but part of the reason why that happens is, you're the owner and you're trying to market yourself, and it's really hard for somebody to tell you that your baby's ugly. So, if they're seeing something in your home when they're walking through that they don't particularly like, they're just going to walk away from the property rather than deal with their agent and maybe try to negotiate pricing and everything else on the property. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can see that.
Great, that's the exact reason why you and I need to get together tonight, so I can see your home, and I can give you some professional tips on what I would do to get your home sold and get you the maximum profit. How does 3 o'clock today sound?
That'd be fine.
Great. Ring ring.
Hello?
Hi, this is Clint Robertson with Century 21 Real Estate. I'm calling about the home for sale. Are you the owner?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and what's your name?
David Johnson.
David, great. It's a pleasure to speak with you. If I could get you the maximum market would bear on your home, plus the cost that people would have to pay for my commission, would that be something that's interesting to you?
Yeah, it would, but I don't believe you can.
Okay, and may I ask you a question? Why do you not believe that a realtor could do that for you?
Because all you guys do is put a sign in my yard, put it on the MLS and wait for the buyer's agent to sell it for you. I mean, I can go out and find buyers for the property just as easily as that.
Wonderful. And David, did you know that right now we have only 500 homes on the market in the Salt Lake market, the Salt Lake area?
Yeah, I mean, that works in my favor, doesn't it?
It kind of does, but the problem with that is that with 500 homes on the market and all of the relocation buyers, people that live out of state, working with agents to try to find properties, you're cutting yourself out of 100% of the relocation buyers. Wouldn't you want to be able to tap into those? Those are the real serious buyers during the winter months. Is that something that just doesn't interest you as having a serious buyer?
I'm interested in a serious buyer. Why don't you bring me one?
And that I can do. Why don't I stop by at 5 o'clock today and look at your home, talk to you a little bit about what you're trying to look at, and at that point in time, then I can tell you whether or not that my company or myself could bring you a buyer. Does 5 o'clock work today?
No, look, what I want is for you to bring me a buyer. I mean,
That's ultimately what I'm trying to do here. So if you've got a buyer,
My company is the #1 relocation company in the country, in fact, in the world. And we do have lots of buyers, but it's impossible for me to say whether I've got a buyer for your home if I haven't walked it and really looked at what your home offers to our clients. That make sense?
Okay, so what if I had an open house for all the realtors in the area and got your guys all walk through and then get this over with in one afternoon?
Okay, so ultimately, what you're trying to tell me is that you want to try to market this property yourself. You want to try to save the fees, but in reality, if I can get you the maximum market repair plus pay my costs, wouldn't that be something that interests you so you don't have to go through all that problems of trying to sell it yourself?
Oh, it's not a problem. I've got plenty of time to do this.
Okay, so what's your motivation to sell your home then?
Well, my wife's been out there to move to Seattle. But, I don't really want to go. And so, basically I don't give a crap, but I'll put it on the market and see what we can get.
Okay, so if I'm hearing you correctly, your wife wants to move to Seattle, but you don't.
Well, I'll go just to get her off my back, but I'm not going to go unless I get the most out of this property.
Okay, and that's the very reason why you and I need to get together, so I can show you the pricing strategies and the marketing strategies that we would use
Why
to get
can't
you the
you tell me
maximum.
that over the phone? Since you've already spent, 5 minutes of my time on this.
Look for humor. Look, he's being an absolute.
I would have already gone on. No, the problem is I would have already gone on because somebody like that, he's wasting my dollars.
No, I agree.
That's
That's
so I
why.
would have already moved on from him because he's already too negative.
Here's why you have to go, David.
Because I don't ever get somebody that bad. They've either hung up by now.
This is
or
why
they've
this is.
loosened up by now.
This is why this is so
I
good.
actually have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's why you have to go, David. Let me ask you a question. How do you tell a mother her baby's ugly, pal?
He already said it.
I did.
Do it again, but that way, even intense. Look, how you deliver it is way, way different.
The way you did it was really soft. It was
Really
it's
soft.
softened in.
It was just like a matter of fact, right? I'm gonna go, David. God, you sound like your dog got shot. Look, how do you tell a mother her baby's ugly? Come on, pal.
Or could you say, it sounds like you have a lot of time on your hands, which means that you can fit a little meeting in
Yeah, you could.
So just let me come by.
Here's what I would do with a guy that's being this pragmatic. Just, dude, are you a happy guy or not? But you know what? When we meet, we're probably going to be pretty good pals. Look, again, how do you tell a mother her baby's ugly? Okay, you don't. You said that. They're not going to do that, but you're right. This is the moment I wanted to see. Here's why. This is going to make you scary good. The fact that you're having a difficulty time getting past him,
But I'm also trying not to handle objections on the phone, and that's where he's trying to drag me.
That's why.
Because I'm never going to get anything. and I'm
That's
gonna keep trying
why
to handle
you
those
have to
objections.
keep going back to, oh, David, that's the very reason. This is how you're going to do it. David, that's the very reason you and I need to get together, pal. What am I mixing up there differently? I don't care if he does it or not, so I'm going to take a risk. Come on, David. What are you doing, pal? Come on, buddy. Let's make this happen. Once we get together, you're probably really going to like me. Then you won't have to put up with all these other agents scurrying out of the bush that you kicked, right? 5 o'clock? I'm really going to pin him down. Why? Because that's the way he's being. These are the ones that I honestly, like you, I'll decide, depending on how I'm feeling, whether I'm going to pump that iron or not. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I've got to decide in that moment, is he worth it to polish? That's all I'm looking at him for right then, is nothing more than to let me exercise, because I'm going to take a risk. Because when you don't get what you want, experience is what you get. So let's rewind, take a risk, loosen up, get in the ring, start punching it out with him. That's what I want to see. Okay? Not rude. Remember, this is tactical. This is emotional. You're looking for, when you pinned him down on his emotion, why? He doesn't want him, but he's gonna do it because his wife wants to.
Yeah.
So how is she gonna feel when she gets to where was it, Washington? Seattle?
And I also said that, look, I'll do it if I can get top dollar, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I'm coming up against with one of the couples that I'm working with at the moment. I mean, she doesn't want to sell the house. He does.
So it's a
But
process.
she'll offload it if she can get top dollar. And, you know, just so you know, I've actually called people who've been total pains in the ass, like what I'm doing.
I've got this before, so
And I think what I lack
not very
is
often.
the ability to do what he does, which is snap out of the gloom and
There you go.
and just say, look, I'm either going to make this or he's going to hang up on me.
That's it. That's it. And you've got to make that say, well, have a nice day, or move on. If you don't get him, don't worry about it. You have to decide in your mind. I can see in your mind it was frustrating the hell out of you.
Yeah, well, that's
So
what
you're
it's
going, you're going, what the hell? What am I going to say? I love, in here, I want to see that. You guys never made it easy on me. And you made it a pain in the ass. And it was really uncomfortable for me. But I muscled through it. Okay? So when that happens, showtime. That's my action word. Yours is something else. And you have to get into it and go, thanks for being you, because this is what I'm going to do with that. And I'm going to really nail it. I'm going to push all the little things I'm struggling with and see how they stick. With the guy, I don't care if I get it or not. No, those turn into some of the best pieces you can get because they're the hardest. 90% of the people are hanging up on him. It's like, he's an idiot. Boom. So use this time to really get good. So let's re-roll that. Showtime.
So I just said, yeah, wife wants to go, but I don't. But I will if I can get top dollar. So
Maybe
that's what I'm trying to do.
dang women. I know. You gotta be careful with that one though. Hopefully you're good. Yep. Yep.
So Dave, I totally understand that. You know, I mean, it goes back to that women. You can't live with them, can't live with them. You know, I mean, I've never said I can live without them, but I just can't live with them. So, again, you know, if I could get you the maximum the market would bear and pay for my marketing costs, meaning that you're going to put the most in your pocket, more than you're going to put yourself trying to sell this home, that's the very reason you and I need to meet. And what time can I meet with you today? 5 or 7?
You know,
5 o'clock. Great, thank you.
Did you see a difference?
His voice,
He
everything went up.
took control. That's what I'm talking about.
He still looks pissed off.
I am, because those are the calls that motivate me. The next call after that one's always my best call.
That's
right.
right.
The next call after that call is always my best
Go
call.
ahead, be my first.
It really is.
The
The next
emotion,
call after that is always the one
the
that I'm like,
passion
okay, jackass.
shine
next
through,
one.
right? Different in passion. I can turn it up a notch. I hope for people like this. When I was doing this every day.
It is, but I wasn't thinking that the first time through. But
No, you
literally,
are.
always the call after that one is always my best because I'm so mad. I'm like, screw that.
I can walk over and see him and know if he's got a bad call or not because it's.
I do. I start.
Okay, last one, and then Lou, you want to run one?
Sure.
Okay, perfect.
Ring ring.
Hi.
Hi, this is Clint Robertson with Century 21. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, I'm calling about the home you have listed for sale. Are you the owner?
Yes, I am.
And your name, please?
Jesus.
Jesus, wonderful. If I could get you the maximum price for your home, plus the cost it would take for me to market it, would that be something that interests you?
Not at the moment. I just want to see what I can get out of it before having to hire anybody. So I'm
Okay.
trying to do this on my own right now.
So explain to me, what is it, first of all, why do you need to sell your home?
What was that? I'm sorry, dude.
Why do you need to sell your home?
I'm actually moving.
You're moving. Is it for a job or just to
Yeah, it's a
get a
job
bigger home?
transfer.
Job, okay. And what kind of work do you do?
I'm in sales.
You're in sales. Well, I'm in sales as well. That's, it's a tough business sometimes, isn't it?
This sure is.
Wonderful. So, you've got a motivation to move for your job, okay, and what time frame is that?
It's about, I got some time, I got about 90 days or so.
You got about 90 days. Wonderful. Well, have you had any realtors talk to you a little bit about the new guidelines that have been put in place called TRID?
I have not.
Okay, well, there's new lending guidelines right now, so just so you know that if you were to, even if you were to sign today with an agent, you're looking at probably close to 90 days before your home would actually be sold and you'd have the proceeds in your pocket. Were you aware of that?
No, I wasn't, but if I can't do this on my own for these new guidelines that you're talking about, there's a realtor that I know I can go through.
Well, everybody knows realtor, that's for sure. You kick a bush and a realtor crawls out. Isn't that what happens when you put your home on the market?
Yeah, I think, yeah, you're probably right.
Exactly. I would love to come by today at 3 o'clock and show you my marketing strategies and show you why I could get your home sold in the time frame you want and put the maximum dollar in your pocket. Isn't that something that would interest you?
It could be if you can guarantee that.
You know what? There's not a lot of guarantees in life other than we're going to die and pay our taxes. So, I would still love to come by at 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock today to show you how I'm going to get your home sold and put the maximum money in your pocket. Which time works for you, 3 or 5 o'clock today?
Today is not actually a good day.
Okay, tomorrow at 5 o'clock is best for me. 5 o'clock tomorrow?
I can do 6.
6 o'clock? Okay, I will make that work. 6 o'clock tomorrow. Jesus, thanks for your time.
Perfect. Even on the last call, he was much better, wasn't he? His energy, his reflection of his voice. There's a few things that I would change up. You went in to try to actually handle the objection on the phone again. And I know that's really hard because we have the answers and we want to dump it out right now, but that's the very reason. When you say, I love the fact you brought TRID out. Are you aware of TRID, what it is?
Yeah, but then I explained
That's the very reason we need to get together. I want to leave him baited on the hook for that. Why? You give him the answer, he's going to go research and cancel.
What if, okay, you said you were a trade, and what if the person on the line says, well, what is that? And then after you say, that's the very reason we need to get together, well, I would like to know before.
Well,
say they pushed.
If they push for it?
Yeah.
Look, Jesus, the reality is I have a lot of techniques to get the property sold. I have 100% list to sell ratio. I do. You list with me, it gets sold. Okay? But our company's probably closer to 80 to 90% list to sell ratio. You could say, look, the process, here's what I would have done. The process I guarantees works. I'm not saying I guarantee him anything other than the process works. I would have jumped all over those words with him. Yeah, the 100% guaranteed the process works. I'm not saying I'm going to get him, guarantee him, X amount of dollars. I'm guaranteeing him the process works. How do I know that? I have 100% list to sell ratio. You list with me, it's going to sell. Why? Listen to me. I'm going to give you the pricing strategy, which is reducing the cost of the home. That's 100% guaranteed going to close.
Yeah, but how's that going to work with someone who wants to get top dollar for their home?
Again, that's why you can't handle that objection on the
There's
phone.
why. Because you remember
That's
my...
the exact reason why you and I need to
You
get
got
together.
Yeah, but when you get together and you start going through that pricing
That's
strategy,
easy.
that's going to be
But at
big
least then
stuff.
you're gonna have your
Maybe
CMA
it's-
and you're gonna have some,
Showing
some
what the
stuff to
market
show what
is.
the market really would bear, cause that's all you're telling them on the phone is, I'm gonna get you top dollar, what the market will bear, plus my marketing costs, and that's all you can do when you get the CMA in front of them. You're
Right.
trying to show 'em.
Remember, which aisle do you want to be in? The expired? Well, nobody
I'm
wants to be
confident
there.
once I get to that level.
This
I'm
is-
just getting my foot in the door. I
And
mean,
that's the
because you
point.
get to that level, at least they're listening to you on the phone.
You can't argue the data. That's the point.
Yeah, you didn't get sucked into addressing his friend and
Right.
business.
Yeah, well,
see, and
hey,
I started to with you, and that's my problem. My biggest problem, I still know, and she's the one that brought it up way back when, was, you start addressing the problem, you start getting long-winded, and that's when you really turn them on.
Start losing them.
You just lost them, and they're like, okay.
That's why it's so powerful. That's the very reason we need to get together and talk about.
I'm
something.
throwing that out more. I'm trying to get better.
You are. Hey, look, you did really good. Don't get me wrong.
So a question for you, we've done role plays before where we talked about getting emotional and building rapport. But when you did it, and when you did it on some of those, you just went, "Hi, how are you? Hey, your name's
Oh.
Joe. Glad to meet you. If I can get you what the top dollar is for you," I mean, you instantly go into that close as opposed to what's important in selling your home. So I know that that's bad, but we've talked about that before. Should we? Does it matter? Does it matter on the mood you're in?
Yes and no.
Okay.
For me, I felt that it was okay to drop that directly. Why did I do that?
Both of us.
Yes, because you were like, hello.
Yeah.
Like I said, each one is going to be different.
Okay.
Because if it was somebody else, oh, hello, how are you today? I am awesome. How are you? Things going good today? Awesome. So tell me, what's important to you about selling your property?
See,
If
I felt
there's-
like with Jesus, I could do that. 'cause he was
You're right.
very upbeat on-
You're right. So I'm gonna have more of a conversation with these two
Charles Diggs.
assholes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get right to the point. Cause I just wanna go, hey, look, I'm going to go to facts and maybe even numbers, cause they're both probably analytical at this point, or a driver. He's an amiable. Remember me saying it's important to try to determine early on what they are and what they're. First off, the best way to try to understand what somebody is try to understand what they are not. Did you think that these two were amiables when they answered? Far from it, right? So that leaves me expressive, which they were not. So what does that leave me? A driver and analytical. So what am I going to do? Right at it. And how did it make you feel?
Yeah, it was fine. I wasn't, nothing really. It was more
Right.
just,
Here we are.
yep.
Let's
No,
game.
no.
Game time. Right? So you have to be listening to how they're answering. Hello. Hi, how are you doing? I'm not going to be I'm an expressive, so I have to drench myself as an amiable in order to kind of settle it down. Right? Otherwise, if hey, how's it going? It's a good day. It's sunshiny outside. They're going to go, holy smokes, does this guy have way too much caffeine? Right? But it's not really going to destroy you. Look, here's what I'll tell you. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person, nor can you say the right thing to the wrong person. He might have been all day the wrong person. I don't care, because I'm going to use him to throw every tool I want to practice at a live body. Because when you don't get what you want, experience is what you get. And be analyzing everything you're doing. That was massively good.
Yeah, I should have been more patient because quite honestly, if he hasn't hung up the phone, then yeah, it's like you said, I can just keep working away.
That's
I was gonna
it.
say, you obviously have time.
You
Maybe
got it.
should get together.
I would have started like a buddy. Because here's obviously, this guy's got a cloud over him. He needs obviously a buddy. David, what the heck, pal? Do we need to go have a drink to have this discussion?
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Do you want me to bring a bottle of Jack? What do you
I
need?
had somebody say, well, we got dinner at that time. Great, you want me to be the pizza? They go, you are funny. And I said, oh, I'll bring the pizza. It's $5. Oh, you're gonna have to splurge and spend 10. Oh, all right. I'm gonna show up with pizza and half. Because I know it's an excuse, but if they take me up on it, I better be able to prepare to deliver. Because if I bring in pizza, that listing's mine. Lou, come on, run real quick. We got one more we can do.
Someone else to do my part, 'cause I'm doing that.
Okay, you want to get 3 appointments as fast as you can. That's the whole idea behind this, okay?
I think we should get one of the ladies to answer the phone.
Okay, that's fine. The center one, which one are you going to do it? Perfect. Well, start with Andy, and when you go to the center.
I'm really
Look at it. She's really good.
She's really good at it.
Ring, ring.
Oh,
Hi, I'm here to change your life.
Ooh. Wow.
okay. Did I win the lottery?
You know what? Actually, you are. Are you the owner of 11733 Autumn Beach Drive?
Yeah,
And this is Andy, right?
this is.
Hi, Andy. So, listen, if I can get you what the market will bear plus what I needed to market your property, and you have nothing to lose but everything to gain, and I'm here to change your life by selling your home, would you be interested?
I thought you were here to give me money, and I I didn't know you were an
I
agent.
am here to give you money. Listen, Andy, I can come by your home today. I'm pretty busy, but I can come by at 3:15 and we can talk about how I can change your life. How does that sound?
You know, I really appreciate your enthusiasm, but I think I got this under control.
You know what? I understand you get it under control, but 2 minds is better than 1 mind, right? So
Yeah.
3:15, I will drive by your home. How does that sound? I know you're a very busy man, so I don't want to waste your time. 3:15, I will be there. Yes, Andy? Yes?
Okay, that was incredible. What did she do right and what did she do wrong?
She bulldozed
Oh,
too.
Bulldozed him. She flat, all 80 pounds, run over a 230-pound guy.
I wish it was too.
Yeah, nice. Okay, what did she do that is illegal?
I didn't say who I am.
There you go. Okay, you've always got to go, it's fine. Hi, this is with Century 21, here to change your life. I have no problem with that intro. Because it totally, look, let me tell you what you had. Everybody in here, big grins. Because you're trying to throw a brick through somebody's window. She does it right out the gate. You almost don't have a chance to think. So I'm not opposed to what she did. But you have to introduce who you are.
Do you have to do that right off the bat?
Hey, this is Rick Bent with Century 21. How are you? You do, because it's the law. First off, you have to discuss, you have to say who you are. The reason why, you're empowered with information they're not. And they don't even know it. So yes, you're more, under the eyes of the law, you are capable.
So I was on KSL last night, so I call, ring ring, is this Rob? Yes, it's Rob. Is the house still for sale that's listed on KSL? Yes. This is Shannon with Century 21.
Totally fine.
Thank you. Okay, you had me scared.
Yep.
I'm like, oh no.
Is a house still for sale? Is totally fine.
Yeah.
Because Shannon, what you did is immediately said this, before you get into anything that's really critical,
Mhm.
you're not discussing, you're discussing who you are.
Mhm.
Such as, I gotta move, I'm ready to lose it, I'll take this amount. Okay, now you go to your buddy who says, hey, they're gonna lose this home, and you know what, they need this much out of it. Get it, because there's probably $30,000, $40,000 worth of equitable value in it. Are you in an unfair advantage at liquidating that? Totally. So the state says, you disclose who you are. If they divulge things after that, it becomes agency by implication. Okay? It's implied agency. At that point, because you disclosed who you are, you can actually go past and say, okay, well, let's talk about. So asking if it's available is a simple, yeah, well, great, this is Rick Bentley with Century 21.
So on the same note, I talked to somebody last night, went through all that, talked with them for a while. She's like, oh, well, I'm an agent. It didn't say it on KSL, and she
Blind
never
ad,
said it.
she's in trouble for
Yeah.
exposing the
I
product.
was like, wow. Yeah.
Ah, that's interesting.
Didn't have
How's that
anywhere
going
on your
for you?
ad. Yeah, in 180 days.
Yeah, and so you're not, is it not on the MLS? You know, we do know by the Code of Ethics and the Utah state law that it has to be disclosed that you're an agent. Are you still active? See what I just asked?
Mhm.
He or she may perceive themselves as an agent, but technically there's a lot of things gotten. It's expired, license. They may have surrendered it. They may have lost it. There's a lot of things. But it's an easy way for them to say, get off the phone, I can handle this myself. Well, I'm curious, why don't you have, maybe simple as, well, I'm curious, why aren't you marketing it through your company? And giving up again on all those relocation buyers. And look, the relocation buyers is a powerful, powerful tool you need to be bringing out. Well, help me understand why maybe you should list it with Century 21 and I'll give you a referral. Obviously don't believe in their company or process.
It was on there like 162
Exactly.
days.
So my homes I listed for full price and offered it across, sold it in 2 hours. Look, you gotta believe that what you're doing is worth it. And I do. You're hurting yourself by going for sell by owner. Very good. Enter who you are.
If she called my house like that, my wife would be like
David, is that your ex-girlfriend from Thailand?
I am going to change your life.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
I think it's because in my
I
mind
did
I'm
not know
going,
what
oh,
to
she's
That was-
probably a really cute Asian girl. I might want to have her over to see it. So be careful when you throw that out. You know, you have to be careful with weight, especially if you sound cute on the phone. That's going to go a long ways for you. You women have that advantage over us crusty guys.
So when it gets to the wife
And then the wife's like, okay,
Right. No
you're not
way.
getting in front of my husband. So there's a balancing act, right? So, okay, ring again. Who's gonna do it?
Sabrina.
Okay, Sabrina's done it. Okay. Ring.
Ring ring. Hello. Hi, who is this? Sabrina. Hi, Sabrina. This is Lou with Center 21. How are you doing? Good. So, Sabrina, I know you have a home on sale, and it is the address 11733 Outreach Drive. Is that still available? Yes, ma'am. So, Sabrina, look, if I can get you what the market will bear plus what I needed for the marketing, and I have nothing to lose but everything to gain, would that be something you would be interested?
It would, but we're very tight as far as negotiating, so I don't think the market can bear what we can afford.
You know what, Sabrina, that is the reason why we need to meet today, so I can go over what are some of my marketing plan to have to market your price so we can get what you want. Would that be sound interested for you? I can meet you around 6:15 when on my way drive home. I can drop by your home.
Yes, that will be good.
Great, thank you.
Very nice.
Very smooth, very nice. I can still see she's a little bit reluctant, but the reality is it's really hard when it's delivered property to say no to. Because they're both sound like amiables on the phone, right? So they're gonna, the minute she said, look, we don't believe we can, I love the fact you went right, well, that's the very reason we need to get together and make, and talk about what we do to get the property sold. Because then I'm gonna bring in all of the things, such as the pricing strategy, and give her all the reasons of why we're gonna get more offers than she ever can. I want her to believe, once I meet with her, she has to go with somebody. Doing it on her own, you've got to paint that picture that you're not going to do it. That was textbook perfect. Okay, so good job. One last one.
Ring ring.
Alright,
Hi, who am I speaking to?
you're speaking to Jesus.
Oh, Jesus, is it Jesus I'm speaking to?
Jesus.
I go by that as well.
Wow, you know what? Great. So, Jesus, I know you have your home for sale. So, look, if I can get you what the market will bear plus what we need to market, would that be something you'd be interested?
Not at the moment. I'm okay for right
Can you tell me why at not the moment?
now. I just don't really want to hire an agent.
You know what? I understand, but look, if I can get you what the market will bear, you have nothing to lose. Why would you not want to see me?
Cause I have some friends that have done it selling on their own and it went pretty well. So
You know what?
that's why
I
trying it on my
understand. If I was you, I would do the same. But if I can get you what the market will bear, and you don't have to risk anything. There's nothing to risk. Let me today at 4:15. How is that sound? 15 minutes of your time, Jesus.
Okay, so you, by risk, you mean I don't pay like an agent fee, or is that what you mean?
Well,
Because I'm not looking to pay anything.
I know you're not looking to pay anything. That's why you do for sale by order. But I said if I can get you what the market will bear plus what I need for marketing, and include paying my commission, and you have nothing to lose but everything to gain. Why are you waiting? So 4:15 today, right? 4:15?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
yes.
can today.
I'm excited. 4:15.
I really can today.
So when can you tomorrow? 4:15?
I can do Thursday.
Thursday. You know what? I'm actually busy on Thursday. Can we do it 4:15 tomorrow? And I make sure I will take only 15 minutes of your time.
It would have to be later on that day, so
How
let's,
about 6:15?
okay.
6:15
Let me tell you why this works, and let me tell you, she is slaying it. Just that's one of the reasons I wanted you guys to see what she's doing. Look, her cuteness on the phone pretty much gets you. She can almost just really keep rattling on the way she presents herself, and you're probably going to go, okay, I just want to see this person. Okay, I want to see what she's about because she's energetic, she's happy about what she's doing, she has passion. But see, one of the things, again, it's to get to the appointment. I might slide in there with her. Look, I can take you home to the international market better than anybody. Tell me, why wouldn't you want to understand that? Okay, help me understand that. He got to the point where he's like, what do I say? You don't. You just say, okay. Now, the truth is he may cancel on you. So you have to bring out these things that really, it's the elephant in the room with you. International market. Look, I'm excited to bring your property to the international market because that's saying something that nobody, perceptually, he's thinking nobody else can do. I love how she twisted Jesus into the conversation because he's going to remember that. Look how we emotionally acted to every role play she did. Think about that. That's what I'm talking about. When you talk, she probably taps into emotion better than anybody because of her approach. Now, is she different than anybody that's come up here? Absolutely. In a good way. There's some refinement that you have to do, but coming in here and role-playing again this is extremely powerful. So let me ask you this. What did you learn today?
Maybe not be quite so conservative on that.
Correct. Look, be detached to the outcome. Clint, when you let go of,
You get mad, that's another thing.
yeah, for him, I think it's his showtime. Is like, we got to piss him off before he goes prospecting because challenge him because he shifts.
Just talk to me for 5 minutes.
Babe, are you available at 9:15? Piss me off.
Right. Okay, so no, just show up and get in the game. Look, when you're on calling, you are practicing. Okay? Don't be attached to whether you're going to get it or not. Be in the middle of it. Make it happen. I love, this is where, again, the rubber hits the road. That's excellent. Keep being you. Refine a few things. Know that prospecting is your number one thing that's going to get you where you want to be. Everything else is going to fall into place. I hope you wrote this down, George, put on because this is the structure. This is how you build your structure. It becomes easy if you know this process. Fair enough? Okay, perfect. Make some calls, get some appointments. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
One, the mathematics.
Yes.
The script.
Okay.
So you're saying, I'd like to get you what the market will bear, plus what we need.
Sure. This is from an analytical.
Yeah, okay, plus what we need to market the property. So this is our price. But you've already said what the market will be.
Now you're making an assumption. You're making an assumption. You're making an assumption. Never make an assumption. This, and I've had this a million times. You're making an assumption that when I'm saying what market will bear, that I'm saying that I'm going to get them necessarily what they're asking. Because look, I had one come in here. Look, Bill Nieves came in, brought him in. They hated agents. Was selling the property for $199. Was going to accept $180. You know what we sold it at? $220. But that was what the market would bear. Because see, they don't know what the market's going to bear. So the challenge is showing them what the market's going to bear. Now, if they're overpriced, they're thinking, well, this is where the market is. Look, there's a cost for selling it, but we just showed them the very most expensive thing they could be doing is overpricing the property. So I always have to go, not what I think, not what you think, it's what the market's going to bear. Okay? So it's, if I can get you what the market will bear, never figure into mathematics, it's all assumptions.
Yeah, because the reason why I say this
No, I understand.
is that they're thinking, you know, the market is going to give me something that this guy's saying that he'll give me that plus what he needs.
I can't help that they're making a mistake, that's my, but it's my.
No, I get that. But
It's creating the assumption, it's the assumption that determines behavior, right?
yeah,
So if the assumption is, oh, well, this guy can get me what I want plus what they need to market the property, then I'm good. That's what's going on in their head, right?
yeah.
And they're going, I don't think you can do that. Well, that's the very reason we need to get together, because I'm gonna explain to him, you'll never sell your home up here. But that gives me the opportunity to show him why why this is going to work. Because I'm exposing to all the relocation buyers, all of the other brokerage buyers, by the pricing strategy and the different things that we're using to actually bring them in. So it's all about an assumption. An assumption determines behavior. So it's not so much important what's being said, it's what's perceived to be said. So you have to set that notion, oh, what does it do? Get you in the door. Because remember, here's the only thing we're doing is getting in the door. Because then we can lay out the strategy and the game plan of why this works so well. So here's the thing. Out of the 28 years, 25 years I've been using that, works more brilliantly for me than anything I've ever used.
Right, and you've never been called out on it.
Well, yeah, 100 times. More times than not, but it's like, look, I told you what the market will bear. What does that say? Does the market change? Absolutely. It goes up, it goes down. It goes up, it goes down. And I will let them know that. I don't have a crystal ball to be able to tell you where the market, if interest rates jump 2% tomorrow, what has the market done? Down. I told you what the market would bear. Okay, so that's why you have to set the expectations in the beginning of what your pricing strategy is. Look, pricing a home is nothing more than a guess. But they, in their minds, it's a fixed cost, this is what I can get out of it. So you have to help them understand, no, the market shifts simply by how? Something they can understand. Interest rates. You know interest rates go up and down, right? So when they go up, what happens? Buying power goes away, right? You lose X amount of buyers in the market. Does your price stay the same? It can't. It doesn't. Because less people are involved. So you want to expose it to as many people. So the strategies we use to monitor the market is what you want to tap into. Fair enough? Yeah. Does that make sense? That's why we designed it the way we designed it. So, okay? Okay. Perfect.